Yeah, so thanks, Marcus. And hopefully everybody is awake and alert for this last session of our summer webinar. Why do I think we should be alert and awake? Because I think the subject that we're going to deal with this afternoon is a very important one, and it's easily as important as some of the technical information that we've had over the last day or so. So the session this afternoon, as Marcus said, is all about biotechnology in the age of artificial intelligence. And the reason why we programmed this session is because, well, first of all, Bioindustry 4.0 is a European project where we combine biotechnology and artificial intelligence, and we try to use artificial intelligence to have a positive effect on a certain number of biotechnology endeavors. And so naturally, or maybe not naturally for a lot of us, we need to ask questions that we've maybe not asked before. Generally, when we talk about biotechnology, and even more so when we talk about biotechnology with artificial intelligence, our first reaction is that we imagine an ocean of opportunities and almost unlimited expectations, both from ourselves, but also from the people who are listening to us when we talk about our work. And as research scientists, I think we imagine that so-called smart biotechnology, or as we've called the European project, Bioindustry 4.0, from the term Industry 4.0, we believe that it can provide a significant number of benefits for humanity. We can imagine that combining AI with biotechnology will have numerous benefits for human health, for human well-being, for the environment, and so forth. And as scientists, we generally don't have much difficulty to convince or to find arguments to convince people that this is the case, that this vision is a vision of unlimited, unbounded benefits. And of course, we're very good at finding arguments, especially when we need to raise money to do research. However, we're probably, as research scientists, a little bit blinded or less motivated or just naive about the flip side of the coin, which are the dangers of biotechnology, especially when it's enhanced by artificial intelligence. And so you might be wondering at this stage, what is Michael talking about? What is this flip side, and why is he getting all excited about dangers that don't exist? Well, for a start, biotechnology has always been associated with intrinsic dangers, like many technologies. And I was reminded of this by reading a paper just a few days ago by Nicole Wheeler from the University of Birmingham. I think this paper was published last year, and it's all about the concerns that are arising related to AI in biotechnology. Actually, it's a paper from this year. And Nicole Wheeler, in her paper, recalls, for instance, in 2001, anthrax spores were sent anonymously to a number of people in the USA. And that led to general widespread panic, not only in the USA, but across the world. And it also led more concretely to 5 deaths. This was without AI, of course, and this was probably even without genetic engineering. It was just simple use of a biological component to induce terror and actually cause the death of people. So now, with that example, think about the future and what you could do when you use AI. Well, for a start, you can imagine things that are already feasible, I guess, which is to engineer a bacterial pathogen to increase its multiple resistance to antibiotic, so that when you release that pathogen, society won't have any immediate means to deal with it. You could also imagine that with AI, and especially with the work that we're trying to develop in Bioindustry 4.0, that someone with quite little knowledge of biotechnology or biology could actually set up their own bioweapons endeavor. You know, I mean, we've already heard about the development, especially in the USA, of garage biotech labs. So you can very easily imagine that people in the future using AI could actually develop their own tools and actually develop quite dangerous biological components that, when put into the wrong hands, can cause quite a lot of damage to society. So this is the reason why we need to think about these. This is the reason why we need to take our responsibility. And from a very concrete point of view, for those of you who are connected, who belong to the Bioindustry 4.0 project, we've had a formal request from the European Union to reflect on this topic of biosecurity and to prepare a document for the end of October, where we explain what sort of safeguards we're going to envisage for our project when we start to implement some of the outputs of the project. And so we thought it was a good idea today to reflect on that, and also maybe raise this subject for the first time for some of you who've maybe not thought about this and maybe believe that it's not your direct responsibility to think about this sort of subject. And so that's the point of the session. And I'm really looking forward to hearing both Marcus's view on these issues and also Michael's view on them. And in advance, I thank you both for agreeing to give us these talks this afternoon.